Alright, so let's talk about it. The only way we're going to know how to do the design is to know what we're dealing with here. And let's get a measurement from this point, the bottom of this router mount, to the bottom of the router, where the air starts to pour out of this router. And anything else that would be conflicting. So I think we got about 3/4 of an inch there that we have conflicting areas, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So we have 3/4 of an inch. This thing is 3/4 of an inch, but we can do some things to this to still make airflow possible. So let's go. Okay, so first I want to get the file that I have from my AutoCAD, the 2 parts for the mount, into SketchUp. So I'm going to open. Actually, do I have to import? I may have to import. Yeah, DXF. Mount. Okay, here we go. Alright, so this is the mount. This is the bottom router mount, and this is the vacuum mount that we have. So I'm going to convert this into 3D, so let me see if I can do this a little bit easier. I'm going to intersect everything in here. Selection, so I should have these as separate. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to erase these little inside things. Because these are holes that go all the way through, right? Mm-hmm. And then how thick is the wood?
3/4.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this 3/4 inch, right? Mm-hmm. Uh-oh, we have an issue with scale here. So what we need to do is we need to scale. So we're going to go 1/12. 0.083333. 3 repeating. It looks a little small, but we'll find out. So let's go 3/4, 0.75. Yep, that's the correct scale. Okay, so we need to do the same thing with this one. Mm-hmm. What I usually do is when I just do one line here, it seems to work, but I could have just created a large plane around it. So let me cut out the hole, but I need to intersect everything that's inside of it. Intersect with the selection. Cut out that hole, this hole, and this hole. And then I'm going to extrude it up 0.75, which is 3/4. Okay, so now we have, I'm going to make these into groups. Groups. Make a group. Okay. And this is a group as well. So now we can essentially, modify things. Alright, then we're going to create the router inside. Okay, but we're only going to go make a cylinder that goes 0.75 inches below. Yeah. Okay, so let's move this on top like it should be. We're going to move it. So this hole down here meets with the other hole, right? Mm-hmm. There we go. Okay. So now we have the configuration, right? Mm-hmm. Look right? Correct?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So this is what it looks like in real life. So let's create a cylinder about the size of this circle here. If I can find the center of it. Center. There we go. Okay, so I should... Where is the center in space? Okay, good. Okay, now we've created a circle. We can drag it down 0.75. Oh, but it was from the other one, wasn't it? Right? Mm-hmm. So let's move this up let's make it a group. Move it up. 0.75. Okay, so that's essentially the clearance. So I can draw this up a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so let's pretend this is our
router.
Right. Okay. And if we took this piece here and moved it down, this is essentially what we have, right?
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
We have a space of 3.
Right. So when we put it up here, we really are at the we're at the edge of the bottom of the router, right? So let's escape and put it back the way it was. All right. So now we need to put another piece on the bottom of this, right? Okay. So, but we need to make that piece. We can't make the piece flat against the bottom of the router, right? We don't want to do that. What do we want to do? We want to make that piece a little bit farther away, right?
Yes.
All right. Now, how far down? We have a 3/4 inch piece of wood. Do you think maybe half of an inch would be enough area?
Yeah.
Okay.
How long is the router? I mean the router with the nut and all that.
Oh, the nut doesn't really matter. You mean the collet? The collet. We're probably going to make a hole for the collet to go through.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah. What's the size of the collet? Let's do that. Let's figure that out.
The nut, not the collet.
The collet nut, right. We need the size of the nut. So let's figure out the size of the nut. So the size of the collet is 1.18, but we're going to want some space there. So we're going to make it 1.25. So let's create a circle in the center of this. Oh wait, we want to make it a part of that other. Yeah. So let's find, where's the center? There we go. Okay, so the radius would be half of the diameter. So what is the radius of a diameter of 1.25? You just divide that by 2.
0.625.
0.625. Okay. Now we're going to drag that down. Let's just take it down. It doesn't really matter because that's our constraint, really. Okay, so we have the router and we have a collet coming out of the router. Now we need to make that bottom piece. So let's just make another piece just like the one here, but it's going to be like 2 cylinders. So first we need to clear the collet, right? So let's go ahead and make a. Okay, this might be at the center. Okay, so we're going to make that. That's going to be essentially our hole, and then we're going to create another one, which is the major outside, all the way out here. We're going to have to cut this out because that will conflict with the z-axis, right? All right, now what we can do is make our router disappear. We're going to hide that. We don't really need this anymore because we're not going to be designing anything with that. We can take the hole out of this because we need that clear, right? And then we know that this is going to be 3/4 of an inch because that's what we use is 3/4 of an inch. But let's go ahead and make a line here, and we'll connect that to the. So we have that. So let's eliminate this for right now. We don't really need to work with that at the moment. This is the piece we need to play with. Here. Right, now we can eliminate this because that's where we conflict with the z-axis, and we can round it out and whatever, do the pretty stuff later. All right, now we're going to make this thicker, 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so 0.75. So now we have the basis of what we're going to be using to try to eliminate the downward force. Now, what I would like to see is, first we actually need to find out where those holes are going to be so we can mount it, use it for mounting. So let's bring back that other piece. Group first. First I'm going to make the group here so it can be a group. Okay, I'm going to rename the router, or rename this to router because that's what it's called. So pretend router. this one is the piece that we need. And this is the, let's call it vacuum top 1, or vacuum top. And then this one is the router mount, so let's call this router mount. Mount bottom. Okay. And this one is the vacuum mount bottom. Okay. Alright, so let's take this away for now and let's play with this. So we know that air is just going to hit the bottom of this and not go anywhere, and then the router will overheat, right? Because it just doesn't give you any place for the air to go. So what we need to do is we really need to create a circle here, right? And depress this part, correct? What do you think?
Yeah.
Depress it down, make it farther down. Alright, so let's draw another circle. We should have been in this group. Alright. Let's make everything transparent. Okay. So we're going to center of the circle, okay. Then we're going to hit this point here. This is the size of the router. And then we're going to depress this area. And I don't know, I'm thinking about going like 0.5. Let's see what half an inch looks like. Because we still need to maintain some material here, right? Alright, so this gives us half of an inch of area to be able to stop the airflow going down, right? Okay, so what do we want to do? Now we want to create a place for the airflow to go, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how can we do that?
By placing slots.
Let's, I'm going to raise this piece a little bit, just so we can see this in another plane and we can play with it. So I'm going to raise it. Okay, so now we can see what this piece looks like, this bottom piece, right?
Yeah.
So what do? Do we create pathways?
Yeah.
Alright. And how would you create these pathways? Radially? I would start from the center here and maybe go out to the edge. But I don't know, wait, we have to figure out where the hole is going to be.
Where the screws, right?
Yeah. So what we need to do is, I'm going to lower this. This is going to be easier to understand if I just lower this. Okay. And I'm going to put the screw holes using the transparency. So what we need to do is we need to select this one and be in it. I can still see it a little bit. Okay, we've created one. Now we're going to create the other one. Okay, so now we have two holes. We can
delete them.
Yeah, what I want to do, just to make it a little bit more clear, I'm going to hide this just for now. Now I'm going to push that in. So using the push-pull, first I'm going to be in this. We want to push it in.
3/4 of an inch.
Yeah, but I'm going to just use the existing edge to determine that. And that's not correct, because I didn't use the outer edge. There. Now that goes all the way through. Let's see, get it out of transparency mode and see if that is true. Nope.
No.
One didn't go all the way through, so let's see why.
The one on the left.
All the way down to the edge. Yeah, okay, good. So now I have these two. This is a good design here. So now, to allow air to go through, what we want to do is maybe create some passageways to come out, right?
Yes.
Allow it to escape, the air to escape. We don't want to do it here because this is where the z-axis is. So we really don't want to mess with this part. So we're gonna, let's create radial areas.
Cool.
You see here?
Actually, I was thinking like, why not do it
Right here?
and then going over here?
Oh, I'm gonna do a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have one here, close to this hole, close to here. And I'm gonna go.
In front of the hole.
In fact, you know what I'm gonna do? This is just my design place. I'm gonna continue my design in AutoCAD so I can get everything ready to see and see right away. So this was just a design. I think we have a good idea of what we want to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we know what we want to do. I'm gonna construct it real quick in AutoCAD. We don't need that anymore. But we also want to do something else to the other piece, the piece just top, the vacuum top. and we want to create a passageways for that too in the same locations, because we can take advantage of even more airflow coming out. And we just went to mount. Okay, so let's use that. All right, so we know that I can just take this and copy it and make another one. And a circle. And I'm just going to explode this. And that circle didn't work. That's alright. Because what I can do is I can go all the way around, just extend this all the way around. Alright, so we pretty much have this now. The collet size was diameter 1.25. That's the hole we want to make in the center, so the collet will have free spin in there. And we still have this, which is good. So what we want to do is create radial. I'm going to go ahead and go as close as I can to the edge. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mirror this all over the place. So what I've done is I've created an area that I'm going to cut out, which will be on the same plane as this. Right? So what we could do is we could actually do this. And that's the way it's going to look, right? So let me mirror this to the other side, so we can have it going over here too. Alright, and then we're going to do the same thing. I can mirror both of them at the same time, actually. Mirror. We're going to do it like that. Yep. And then we're going to create one more, I think. Yeah. Mirror. I don't know if this is going to work to my advantage here. No. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm just going to create another one, actually, because I can take advantage of some space here. There. There we go. Get rid of these, and then this is what the part will look like. Now we have to modify this one as well. So I'm going to mirror this because we're going to be routing on actually the bottom of it. So this is what we're going to be pocketing. We're going to be pocketing on the bottom of this piece. We're going to be pocketing on the top of this piece and pocketing it on the bottom of this piece. It'll be a very interesting looking piece, this thing. I wonder if we could even eliminate all of this too. We may not even need that. I'll keep it. No, I'll keep it. Yeah, I mean, we really only need these two solid pieces, and everything else can be essentially open.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know? Huh.
You can make a complete circle if you want.
It may be more interesting looking if I actually make it like this. So let's see. And maybe we can take advantage of even more refined control of the blower output later on. So we'll just keep it like this for now. All right, but we want to make this the same. So let's just take these lines. We're going to copy it over. It's already there. Let's see.
But if we have any difference, like
okay. All right, so what we could do, actually, we're going to extend this. We don't actually need, you know what? We don't want these to be there. So that means we're going to eliminate this one. Wait, no, wait. That's wrong. That's wrong. Because it's this area that's being exhaust. So it's this area that we want to get out. So we're going to have to pocket this part, pocket this part, pocket this part, and pocket this part, and also pocket this part. But I'm not really sure if we want to pocket this part. So I may actually take this part out and take this part out. Alright, so we're pocketing 3 areas. So I'm going to take this out to here. I'm going to put that back. And I'm going to eliminate this part. Okay. So now it has this area to escape, this area to escape, and this area to escape. We'll maintain that. So we're done. All we need to do now is to put this in a CAM program and cut it out. So I need to create this as a DXF, which I already have. I'm going to move these closer together so I'm not wasting too much material, like that.
Yeah, that's good.
And then I'm going to, we want to make sure that the holding tabs are somewhere that there's tall material, not material down here like this, so we can easily get rid of those. We also want to create boundaries for the pockets, so use the BO command, click there. Now we have a polygon here, and we need to cut it out there. We need to pocket this out. We need to drill this out, and drill this out, and drill this out. Now this one I need to pocket this, so I'm going to make this a boundary. BO, this one, this one. So these are going to be pocketed, right? And then you're going to cut this hole out and cut this hole out. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So now we are ready. I'm going to get it closer to the origin here. Okay, so now we're ready to put it into Kanban. I want to get rid of some of the, I'm going to go up 10. Get rid of some of these lines that we don't really need. We want to maintain just polygonal type stuff. And I can do a p-edit, join all of these. So this is a polygon, this is a polygon. Move this back down. Okay, now this is a polygon already. These are. This is a polygon. And move this up about 10. We can take this out. We can take these out. This out. This out. This out. Alright, now we're going to bring it back down. 10. And then we're going to take this into Kanban. So let's save this as a DXF. Save as DXF. Called mount DXF, that's fine. Replace it, sure. Exit. No, I don't want to turn it into a DWG. No, I don't want to save drawing 1 because that's blank. Now go into Kanban and we can load it up and create the toolpaths that we need for the machine to follow. Alright, so we're going to File, we're going to open up the mount. Open the mount. This is in the wrong directory. Let's go 4x8, I think it's in here yet. Okay, so we have these. Looks like I went a little bit over the edge here, so let's move it. Control M for move. Oh. Control M. Oh, I can't do it, that's weird. I think it could be the capture program that I'm using. Transform, move, okay. Yeah. Okay, let's go a little bit farther from the edge just in case we don't know where we are. Okay, so first I want to drill this hole. Oh no, pocket better, because let's pocket this stuff out first. So let's do a pocket. Actually, hold on. I need to determine my stock. My stock should be 0.81. I'm going to go here to machining. My stock, it says 0.75, but I like to go a little bit deeper. 0.81. You can see that increased a little bit. Now I'm going to use my cam styles. I'm going to go here, select this piece because I want to pocket that out first. This is the first thing the machine is going to do. I use the pocket command. Then I'm going to go to style. I've already created a style for pocketing at 0.45. So let's go here. Let's go 0.5. Let's just go ahead and go all the way 0.5. Pocket depth, target depth is 0.5. Then I'm going to want to drill this out. So I'm going to use the drill command. What is this size anyway? Diameter 0.125.
1.25.
Yeah. Let me see if it did. Yeah, it's doing a good drill. So I'll go ahead and maintain that. I don't have to add a style to that. We're going to do a straight drill to these. So drill down straight. So use the drill command. Selected those. Style. I'm going to drill straight. Okay, that's fine. And now, so we've pocketed. I'm going to use Control T to show what we're doing so far. Alright, now all we need to do is cut out the entire piece. So let's go ahead and press Profile. Style is my favorite style of profile with tabs. Alright. Now these are the tab locations. I can put one here. This is going to be fine. We want the tabs at the upper locations, which are this area, this area, this area. And it's good to have one, like, sort of, this is going to be a little tiny piece here that could pop up and jam our end mill, so we want to keep that piece down. So let's go ahead and drill these next. Drill it. It's going to be a straight drill. Alright. That's fine. And we're going to pocket this one. But no, let's go ahead and we're going to do an inside profile to this large circle. We're not going to do a drill, because that means that if we do a drill, this big piece is going to pop up and it could jam the CNC machine between the shank of the bit and the other wood around it. So we're going to do an inside profile with some tabs. So let's go over here, go down to inside profile with 2 tabs, what I usually do. Let's take a look at it. Yep. And I can put it on the high points. This is a high point here. This is a high point here. This would be a low point because it's going to be pocketing, so we don't want to put it there. That would be hard to cut out. So now we're going to do a pocket here. Let's pocket this. We're going to pocket this to, let's do it the same, 0.45. And just go all the way. And we don't have to go 0.5. You know, it's not going to be necessary. It's going to be large holes. Let's do this one. 0.45. And let's do this one. Pocket this one out. 0.45. Alright. I can do this. And now we have another hole to drill out, so we're going to go ahead and use the inside profile because this is also a large piece that can be jammed. So let's go to inside profile with 2 tabs. And now we're ready to cut out the entire piece. So let's do a profile with tabs. Alright. Now I'm going to put this in these locations. This is good. This one is good. I'm going to put this over here. Okay, so now we have created the cam and toolpaths that will eliminate the material and cut out the pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and produce G-code, and we're going to run it on the machine. There's a bunch of other things that you need to consider when making cam for the first time. So I would suggest using the tutorials on the CamBam site. They're really good, and it gets you ready for understanding how to use it with Mach 3 and setting other parameters like bit size. Actually, let me do that because I didn't do that yet. Machining, I usually go here and click on 4, which is 0.25. I use a 1/4 inch bit generally. So I'm going to go ahead and machining, produce G-code, and then save it as mount.nc. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's changing. This is my tool number. I just changed. And I have to use the new value. I can do this. And now it's ready to go to the machine. I'm going to copy this file to the computer on the machine. I'm also going to save it so we can reference it later.